Thank you guys so much for being on here with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so, today I really, I wanted to have a conversation because obviously our marketing efforts and, maybe even our marketing plans that we had in place may not be relevant for today's climate. So just having that conversation, and what that could look like moving forward or today anyway. But Bridget, if you wouldn't mind, I asked you last minute to hop on here with me because you are the marketing manager for Davis and have done a lot of great posts. And specifically for right now's time, would you mind introducing yourself a little bit to everyone who's on the panel or everyone's who's
Hi, I'm Bridget Jacoby, Director of Marketing for Davis Homes, and I manage all of our social media, which would be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Awesome. Are you doing their emails too?
I collaborate with somebody else on our team that sends out all of our e-blasts.
Gotcha. And Jeff Koehrn, what about you?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, it's really buffering on my end.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my internet connection or what, but it's extremely buffered. I couldn't even hear you.
Oh no. Well, I was asking if you could introduce yourself. I can introduce you for you if you want.
Well, no, if you can hear me, yeah, I'm Jeff Koehrn, VP of Agent Development in Indianapolis, and I work with Robin in our office, and what we've started the last couple of weeks is doing a lot of virtual training, virtual meetings. So I'm getting up to speed on this, and Robin and Bridget are a lot more in tune with this than I am, but I'm seeing the power of this. I've already reached out to one client and have a Zoom meeting set up for later on today. They're in Florida right now. They were going to buy a house in Carmel. They've clicked on probably 1,000 houses in the last 2.5, 3 months. And it finally dawned on me, reach out to them and see if we can just connect over the internet. So we're going to do that either this evening or tomorrow. And then as things change, when they come to town, I'll have some houses ready for them to look at. So, I mean, I think the power of this is undeniable. We definitely need to embrace this for the near future anyway.
And you jumped right in. We went from in-house training to 2 webinars last week and 3 or 4 scheduled this week. So we've hopped right on it.
We went from boomer to zoomer.
Oh, God.
Almost immediately.
That is true. So I'm going to start. I have a little presentation created, but I just want it to be really a conversation. So, Bridget, Jeff, please chime in as we're going. I'd love your input. And then anyone else, if you have questions too, please feel free to stop me. Okay, so first and foremost, what I truly believe is that we have to care more now than ever about what our clients, what our sphere are going through, what they may be feeling. And I truly believe we should be reaching out to, I know it's not social media, but whether it's text or video or phone call, reaching out to our friends, our family, our clients and past clients, and just asking if they're okay and if they need anything. And I think, not that you're doing that to set up your brand in a good way, but that's what will happen. Just caring and showing that you're there for them. And then acknowledging the climate that we're in. If we're ignoring that and our post or our message is disregarding the situation that we're in, people are going to disregard what we are saying, and it's going to hurt us in the long run. So we have to acknowledge it. We can't just climb in a rabbit hole and act like it's not there. And then keeping our posts valuable and relevant, which is very similar to what I just said, making sure that what we're saying and what we're posting out there is for today. I've even seen some videos of agents who are saying, hey, I'm posting this on Tuesday, but I recorded this on Sunday, because everything's changing on a daily basis. So you almost have to disclose when you recorded or created that content, because you might have done it on Sunday and posted on Wednesday, but by Wednesday it's changed. Bridget, Jeff, have you guys thought any about that or seen any of that?
Yeah, I would say one thing that we've done that has, I mean, we haven't directly talked about what is going on, but I guess you would say kind of addressed it a little bit. We have done a coloring contest for people that are stuck inside their homes. And so we took a rendering of one of our homes, and we've gotten quite a few submissions of, you know, young children that have colored in one of these pages, and then we'll pick a winner, you know, that gets a gift card in about a month. So we acknowledge that everybody's, you know, stuck inside and try to address that in a positive way.
Yeah, I actually have that as an example of a great idea. I think being a resource for people and thinking about what they're going through and getting their kids involved, I think that was such a great idea. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Okay. Jeff, are you, okay, got it. I thought maybe Jeff's screen was on here. So now is such a great time to be social. And Chris Kugelhan, one of our partners, actually posted a video last week about doubling down. And I really feel like you should be over communicating, whether it's people who are in the process or your past clients. You know, a text, a video goes a long way. Social media, we've like quadrupled down on our Zoom meetings that we're doing. And especially stories. If you haven't got onto, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, posting on your stories, a lot of attention is going there. So I would double down. Whatever you were doing before, do twice or 3 times as much on your stories, because people are watching it and they're interacting with your stories. Bridget, what have you seen there? I know what messages, I guess, should I say, are you asking your sales counselors to do as far as reaching out to their sphere and posting on social media?
Yeah, so one of the things we've done on Instagram stories is making sure that we're tagging, you know, either the listing realtor or, you know, the other salespeople on our team, or maybe it's even like the products that are in the picture, whether it's, you know, the paint supplier, the cabinet supplier, things like that. And the amount of shares that we get from doing that is insane. So, you know, it takes a few extra seconds, but you reach so many more people by tagging those that are relevant.
Yeah, I totally agree. Tagging your location, tagging the vendors. We actually had an opportunity to talk with Jared this morning, and he said even your team, you know, your construction team, if they're out on a job site, they're all taking pictures too for all of you to share. So it's been truly a team effort for you guys.
Yeah, it has, and it pays off. The amount of leads that we get and website traffic from social media is it's mind-boggling. It's a lot.
That's awesome. Any content on stories that you can share that you've seen that either has worked for you guys or other agents doing?
Yeah, video walkthroughs of homes. I've seen, you know, whether it's open houses that we have, and there's a realtor in Central Indiana that's holding that for us, or maybe it's somebody on our team, but just going through video walkthrough. It's usually on FaceTime, and just pointing out the unique features and just making it really feel like a home for the viewer that they can see themselves living in.
Yeah, I think it's huge. And then Jeff, you've been great on Zoom, which you didn't do a Zoom meeting before last week, right?
Tuesday the 17th was the first, I believe.
And now you're on what, 4 or 5 Zoom meetings?
Well, we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it in the morning. I've even got Kyle on. So we're doing the training via Zoom. And Kyle actually did it from home today, which was a little bit odd.
Yeah.
Because
right.
he was just, he wasn't going to social distance, but he's even getting on board to doing it from home. And it's been amazing. It's been a learning curve for me because yesterday, I want to say, Rob, what did we have? Close to 75 people
at one point
across the
74,
country.
I think. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's just a powerful tool. I'm embracing it now, but I got to tell you, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm going to keep doing this. I think this is something we should continue to do, even after whatever's going on passes.
Mm-hmm.
I still think this is a powerful tool for all of us to do to stay together as a community. And like, yeah, having Jared on here today was very, very valuable. Somebody with that depth of knowledge and connections in the industry. I don't think there's any better use of this platform than just sharing information, because we're so collaborative at Highgarden, and Davis is the same way. So I really believe this is a time for us to shine and show, kind of show who we are as a company. And Jared, somebody asked a question, I apologize. Jared Klein is the VP of Sales and Marketing at Davis Homes. So he came on this morning to kind of share the new construction, how the new construction market is dealing with COVID-19. But as we go forward, there are going to be other challenges. There are going to be other questions in the industry. And I just really believe it's powerful for us to stay together as a group and work through any issues that come up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head, Jeff, more than the education part of this, which is amazing, but the collaboration of it, like, right now, I believe people are craving that sense of community. And this allows us to bring people together, whether it's, you're an agent and you're bringing your clients together, or you're bringing your tribe together, whatever it is, having that sense of community and ties to others will get us through this. And as a brokerage, it's been useful for us, but I think, I think builders and independent agents can use this as well. Okay, so for all platforms, as far as social media goes, if it can be video, it should be video. People really right now, especially, I mean, all the time, but right now, if they can hear your voice, see your face, it's gonna create a brand for you and keep you top of mind. And the more real and genuine you can be, the better. Bridget, you just posted a picture of a little boy. He may have won the coloring contest. That was so awesome because it was like real and genuine. It wasn't a sales ad. It wasn't anything other than the sweet boy with the best smile holding up his picture he was so proud of. And I think the more genuine you can make your posts, the better. And then we kind of touched on this earlier, but if you're doing video right now and it takes you a few days to edit, make sure you're telling people when the video was created. I even did one for Fishers where I was updating from something our mayor had said. And at the time, there were no cases in Hamilton County. But then when I posted it, there was 1 or 2. And so I got a few comments like, hey, there is actually cases in Hamilton County, but it had changed so fast. So we have to be aware of that. And then for most platforms, the algorithm, which is what the social media platforms use to boost your post, they value video over photos. So the more videos we can do, the more exposure we're going to gain ourselves just from doing that. Any input on that, Jeff or Bridget?
Yeah, and maybe you're going to get to this. It's a little bit different than video, but we found that Matterport and 3D virtual tours have been an incredible tool for us to use to be able to show customers that may not be able to, get outside their homes and see one of our floor plans. But if you go to most of the floor plan pages on our website, we might have 1 or 2 different Matterports where you can actually walk through that home and actually feel like you're inside of it. So that's been incredibly helpful. The more and more that people are inside their homes.
Yeah. Who are you using to get the Matterport done?
Right now we are using, I think it's called Dream Home Media, and that's who we use for our photos as well, which that's something else that I would say professional photography is a must.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jeff, can you talk a little bit about, you've been doing videos the last 3 weeks. Can you talk a little bit about what your strategy has been there?
Well, you've got me thinking the 5 videos that or the video that I did and then broke into 5 points. It's going to post Monday through Friday. I think it's still relevant though, because what I talked about was the difference between 2008 and 2020. So before that, I'd been doing for sale by owner or different things like that. And I don't think people want to hear about listing their houses right now. So I picked that topic of 2008 versus 2020 because I think that's relevant. I think that's going to stay relevant. And I think it's something that people need to hear. If you're new to this business, please don't withdraw. Please don't back away from this business. Hang in there because this is different. There's a lot of press. There's a lot of people saying things about the economy. I don't know if we're in a recession. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone next week. But I do know that this was not caused by real estate. So in my gut, I believe if anything's going to guide us out of this, it's the housing market. I think if the housing market stays strong and we as realtors become leaders, we will carry this out of this. Chris mentioned a while back, if somebody has fears and they want out of a contract, absolutely want to support them in that. But on the other side of that, if they've got questions, then at that point, I think we want to explain our experience and why Jared talked about it this morning. Is this the time to sell your house and do a contract with a builder? When builders get oversupplied, maybe on their spec homes or traffic is a little bit less, this would be a time to maybe build some equity in new construction over the next 6 to 9 months. I don't think a lot of people are thinking about that right now, and I think it's something that I don't want that to sound salesy, but I think that's relevant, and I think that's content that we should share with people in a non-sales related way. It's like, look, these are some of the things that we've experienced in the past, and this is something you want to think about.
Right, you're educating.
It's education, and I think it's a fine line between educating and selling.
Yeah.
And I think Bridget, I think Davis is doing a really great job of that right now, is educating, and they're not selling, they're educating. I think that's what we need to do. That's what I tried to do with the webinar last week and with those videos. And I'm going to keep trying to do that probably going forward. And I'll give Chris Kugelhahn a lot of credit. He shot a video back and he talked about the making deposits into the social media bank. And if you're going to always be posting your listing or asking who wants to go buy a home, you better have some deposits in the bank. You better build up some trust, and you better provide some information before you start taking those withdrawals. Right.
Absolutely. And I think, with what you've done, Jeff, and we just had a question from Diana about, can you make your videos shareable? And I think your videos are shareable. They can, someone can go on there and share it. But my suggestion would be, if you see content that you like, instead of sharing another agent's information or another agent's post, take the points that you like out of their video and make it your own. We do that. I know some of the information you're sharing, Jeff, were from like a Keeping Current Matters article and webinar, and you pulled the slides that you like the best and covered those. So when you're sharing other agents' posts, which I'm sure Jeff wouldn't mind if we're sharing your post, but you're branding Jeff at that point, so you'll want to make them into your own. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Yep, I would.
Okay.
And then also with video, you can turn photos into video.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm going to stop the video because it's really slowing down on my end.
Okay.
I don't know if that's slowing us down or not.
I'll stop video on my end too. Okay, so we have, we lost Bridget too.
So Robin, do we want to answer questions as they come in?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
We'll ask Bridget when she hops back on. We have a question about favorite apps to turn photo into video. You can use Animoto is what I've used, the free version. iMovie is also really good. She might have some input on that too. And then for video editing, I use Adobe Premiere or a software called Camtasia. It's Camtasia, I believe. Bridget, you're there. I think we all got shut down. Can you hear us?
Let's see. Is everybody there?
Yeah.
Okay. What am I using? How are you producing your videos? This is going to shock people, but literally I just take my iPhone, I turn it on, and I record videos. 1 or 2 takes. It's really just speaking from the heart. I don't really rehearse it. I don't really even think that much about it. And Robin can confirm this, is literally I'll just pick a topic, break it into 3 or 4 segments, shoot 5 videos. One goes up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I don't pay for anything really. I open those videos up on QuickTime, and I just try to figure out what the start of it should be, what the end of it would be. And there's misspeaking, you know, oh, well, and well, and my hands are moving. But I don't want to overthink this. I've spent a lot of time overthinking it. And it's kind of like the guy that goes to the doctor and says, my hand hurts. And he says, what's been going on? He says, well, I've been smacking it with a hammer. And the doctor says, well, stop smacking your hand with a hammer. Same thing for me. If I'm overthinking this, just stop overthinking this. Turn your camera on or your FaceTime on your computer and just talk to the camera and give people relevant information. So the thing with keeping current matters, yeah, I watched a webinar, but then I thought, you know, I'm not going to parrot or post what they have to say. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to explain what it means to me. And I think we all have our own personal beliefs and knowledge that we can bring to this. And I truly believe in that. If we are talking about something that we understand and we're bringing knowledge, whatever that is, I think that's the content that's going to be relevant. Don't take this the wrong way, but talking about how many coronavirus deaths there have been, to me, adds no value whatsoever. There's nothing I can do to change that. It doesn't seem relevant. But you know, maybe every day you get in on the morning and you explain to people what's going on with school closings or something in your area that people are going to want that's on a human level. And it's just a video like this and it gets posted. Right. I mean, that's a long answer, but.
No, it's good. I mean, you've made it, I think Jeff initially started out doing 1 video a day and then found that to be too much. So he basically shot all videos on one day and just scheduled them out so he doesn't have to think about it anymore. And it's just kept it really simple. Bridget, we have a question for you. What app or software program are you using to turn photos into video?
Yeah, I learned about this actually when Facebook and Instagram were in town, I think about 2 years ago. There's an app that's free, and it's called Legend, where you can actually add animated text on top of photos, and so that allows it to turn, you know, into a video, and then it does better on Facebook and.
Oh, we cut out. Shoot. Okay, we'll ask her to come back on that. We'll get the spelling. We're losing a lot of people. You know, I was just on a webinar this morning and we were like joking that Zoom hasn't crashed yet with everybody on there. And I think that might be what's happening. Can you all hear?
I'm seeing 27 participants. I mean, like.
Yeah.
Looks like 15 or 20 either fell off or just we bored the hell out of them, one or the other.
Well, it keeps crashing, so it's hard to stay in this. So I apologize, guys. We were actually just talking this morning on a different webinar that Zoom hasn't crashed yet. And I think that might be what's happening. I'm sure people are overloading Zoom right now. So we'll keep it rolling. If it does it again, we'll send out the slides. But I wanted to get into ideas of what to post. That seems to be the biggest question that's ongoing that I hear. So I'm going to share this slide again. We'll just go to what to post. I'm seeing a lot of people getting really creative with resources that are out there, sharing that. I know my community, we have a Facebook group page. People are sharing puzzles and different ideas of like virtual yoga classes. I posted on Monday, a post that did pretty well was what restaurants in my community are offering to-go orders to support those businesses because they're having a really hard time right now. So anytime you can offer a resource to your sphere, it's going to go a long way. And it's giving back, you know, giving them something instead of selling. Any ideas that you guys have on that? Anything you've seen?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these as well, both with the getting takeout from restaurants, and then also, you know, people have so many recipes pinned on their Pinterest board. So showing, you know, a beautiful picture of dinner that you've made at home, things like that. And then, you know, it gets a lot of comments and just, you know, makes you more of, you know, an approachable type person where you kind of show, you know, your daily life, but it's something that somebody else is doing as well, and shows your creativity as well.
Yeah, I love that. The recipes, because we're all at home cooking as much as ever. So, which is not my favorite, but and then educational, we were talking about that earlier, especially with, you know, what Jeff was talking about with the keeping current matters. What the market is like today, it's changing all the time. And so keeping people updated on what's going on. Chris Gugahan posted this morning a screenshot of the My Board dashboard, and he selected the past 24 hours, what's happening. And you could see all the new listings, pendings, sold. And so the market is continuing to, we're continuing to do business. We're just doing it in a different way. And so showing that and showing what the market looks like today is a great way to educate people who are watching. Safety precautions, I've seen a lot of great posts on that, on, you know, are you wearing gloves? Are you wearing masks? Are you sanitizing after an open house or a showing? What are you doing to take extra precautions? Bridget, with Jared this morning, he was talking about, you know, the models moving to an as appointment basis, and pre-construction meetings are going virtual. Anything else that you can think of that you guys have done to add extra precautions?
Yeah, I mean, we are, like, I'm working from home right now, so I'm in what has become sort of my home office this past week. So, you know, limiting the amount of people that we actually have in our office, allowing people, you know, still work, yet work from home. That's been huge.
Right. And just communicating that with, you know, your sphere, whoever your clients are, you know, the new way of doing business, and letting them know that you still are in business. It's not a sales pitch, it's educating.
Correct.
And act as a reporter. There's a lot going on in our community right now. A lot of great things going on in our community right now. People volunteering and helping and sharing those things is a great way to share positivity. And then inspiring, which is along the same lines, but if you have favorite quotes or success stories, sharing those things. People right now need an uplifting point of view. We're seeing a lot of negative things on the news. So if you can be the, you know, the spotlight or brightest point in someone's day with your posts, and, you know, you're adding value to them. Anything there, Jeff or Bridget?
Just, you know, with social media, if you have a business account and not just a personal account, a couple of the things that I do often that don't cost any money to promote at all are giving people, you know, an option to view their opinion. So maybe it's on a poll where it's, you know, do you like this or this better? And neither choice is bad. It's always, you know, a beautiful picture of 2 rooms and, you know, our homes or things like that. But it's a good way to see what is trending, you know, design-wise, then also lets people voice their opinion as well. And then something else that we do on social media, it works better for us for whatever reason on Facebook than it does on Instagram, is maybe let people tell, you know, their favorite part of a room and then you'll pick a winner for a gift card, the next day or so. And those seem to get a lot of comments and shares and people tagging their friends. So that allows you to let your content show up in more and more people's feeds. And I mean, the gift card one, maybe it's $25, which is pretty inexpensive. And then the polls are free.
Right. And people love to give their opinion. So anytime you can have someone give their opinion, and then it's great for, like you said, the research aspect of it, seeing what people are thinking, and that helps you with your marketing going forward.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Along with that, I have a few examples here. So Davis, this is the rendering you were talking about for the coloring contest. Such a great idea. I want to point out that she always starts her headline with a headline, like one catchy phrase and some emojis, and then it's followed by bullet points or the body. And I think that's how people, when you're scrolling, the easier you can make it for someone to read, the better. So I love that you do that. Some things that came up on my Instagram in the past day or two is hashtag self-care, hashtag community love. There's going to be a lot of people using those hashtags. And so if you are posting about what you're doing, your business, your brand, consider using those hashtags as well, because they're going to be looked up more often right now. It's a great way to gain some exposure. And then if you're doing stories, when you go onto the stickers, there's a little sticker called stay at home or stay home. When you put that onto your story, you click it and move it to wherever you want on your story. Instagram is starting a whole story headline itself for anyone who has that sticker. So it's a great way to be put into the mix of anyone who's using that sticker on their stories. And then I put Jeff Koehrn on here as a great example as well for the videos that he's doing. What I love about this is he is going through a Keeping Current Matters graph, but he has his IU hat on. He's at home. It's so real and genuine. And I think that was great that he's just showing himself right now working from home, and this is reality. Anything to add on that?
Yeah, I would say, it's really important to keep the content that you post, the most important things above the fold, which I think on Facebook and Instagram is 3 lines. And I think on LinkedIn, it might only be 2. It could be 3. But make sure that you have, what you want people to see above the fold. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Great point. We were just talking, so formatting, we'll skip this, but yes, start with the headline. The more you can do bullet points, the better. Instagram, it makes it a little sticky to do bullet points without having, or with having a space in between. I use an app or a website called 4appsforlifehost.com, and you just post your caption in there the way that you want it formatted, and then paste it to Instagram, and it will format it for you. So you don't have to use all the dots and emojis and spaces. Is there any apps that you use for that, Bridget, to add to that?
I don't, but I'm going to start using that one.
I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the comments here. Awesome. Okay. Strategies for stories. If you don't use stories, you should definitely consider it. I think that right now more people are looking at stories than they are actual posts. And the great thing about stories that I'm finding is when someone interacts with it, it goes directly to your direct messages. So you're having a one-on-one conversation with that person at that point versus a conversation in the comments, which is public. So it just makes it that much more of a relationship-based conversation versus a comment. Do you agree, Bridget? Have you seen that as well?
Definitely. Yeah, it's an awesome tool. I definitely recommend stories.
It sounds like we're getting frozen up. Ripple is a good app to use for video posts. I think I've used Ripple in the past, but not recently. And the app is called Legend. Is that the one that you use, Bridget, for the videos?
Yeah, like when we have like open houses and things like that, I might just put, those 3 lines of content that are pretty short, animated over a photo, and those seem to get a lot of engagement.
Gotcha. I've used Animoto too. I like that one. And then I'm going to put this in here. It's appsforlifehost.com. Okay. And then, like you said earlier, Bridget, making sure that you encourage with polls, questions, and please tag any type of business that's related in that story. When you tag them, they get a direct message that they're tagged in your story, and then it allows them to share it too. And so it's just free exposure, and it helps everybody brand themselves. Along with, if you're a part of Highgarden, you might have noticed when someone tags their story with, when I say tag, it's actually the mention button. When someone mentions Highgarden in their story, I automatically post it to our story. So it's a great way when someone comes to Highgarden to see what our agents are doing and what they're up to, and our culture and what we're doing. And so it's just a great way to get everybody, all the stories shared. And I know, Bridget, you did that too just earlier today. You guys have a beautiful inventory home in Fortville, and you tagged Highgarden and Jeff and everybody in that, and then that goes out to all of those pages.
Yeah, it's an awesome tool. Like I was saying earlier, also with brands, I mean, the amount of people that we reach from, the lighting company that we tag, or the siding company, or paint, or cabinets, or countertops, it's pretty incredible. And it just takes a few seconds to tag that vendor.
Right. Okay, so other ways to market our brand, and this is one of the last slides I have. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask those. But virtual tours right now are going to be huge, just like you were talking about with the Matterport. I had also heard in an earlier webinar, I have not checked this out yet, but agents across the country are using astroroom.com. I believe you can do it with your phone. You can create a Matterport with your phone. And then virtual open houses. So I think this is going to be big for builders too. Right now, agents aren't doing open houses as much. But if you have access to a vacant home, you're still trying to get it marketed, going through and doing a virtual open house would be a great idea. House party apps. There's a lot of different apps coming up right now where you can basically get people together all on one screen, all of your friends. I saw, Bridget, you had like a wine party with your friends the other day.
We did. We actually used Zoom. So what we're using right now, yep, we used for like personal as well. It was awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just a great way to stay connected and still feel like you're somewhat in the same room, right? And have a good time. Emails with current market info. Keeping current matters is great, but Jeff has said this a lot, and I totally agree. Keeping current matters it's information on a national level. So if you're going to share keeping current matters information, be sure to break down the local information too and share that as well, because our market is hyper local and we want to make sure that we're sharing that information. Would you agree, Jeff?
Yes, absolutely.
How are you finding the local information? Like, what's your go-to source for that?
MyBore. I go into MyBore every day, get market snapshots, and basically, like, for an example, the Keeping Current Matters set a 3.1 month supply. So they had the absorption rate at 3.1 months. When I ran MyBore, the entire MyBore was 1.9. And Robin and you and I looked at that a while back. Some areas were 2 weeks worth of inventory.
Days.
So when I started thinking about that, I wanted to share that with people, because the thought, will real estate be interrupted? Yeah, we're seeing it right now, but also we're seeing there's still more buyers. There's still more buyers than supply. Even if it slows down, even if builders slow down, there's still a pent up supply of buyers, I believe, that when we come out of this, it's going to be like a flood of people into the street when people start getting back out into the market. I think it's still going to be a seller's market.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to have the effect of reducing home prices. On a national level, I don't think we want to look at this on a national level. I wouldn't want to tell my clients here in Indiana something based on what happened in California in the next month or two.
Right.
Because I've got a son that lives in California, in Orange County. They've got problems.
Right. It's just not an accurate story of what's happening here locally. Yeah.
It's not accurate. There's no way we'll be affected the way they will be in California, or maybe even Illinois.
Right.
It won't affect us the same way. So absolutely, I agree 100%. I know it takes a little bit more work. You've got to put some effort into this. And believe me, I'm probably from a social media standpoint, probably one of the most laziest posters. You know, unless my dog does something cute, I just can't think of anything to post.
Right.
But if you put the effort into this, if you're going to do something like this, I really, really want to reiterate, make sure it's valuable and make sure it's relevant. So I had a KCM membership and I was doing their videos and all that, and it dawned on me, everything they posted was just so generic. And sometimes it was on 5 or 6 different people's feed. I mean, I would see the same stuff that I posted on somebody else's Facebook.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
I knew that I was making a mistake.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Jeff, because I do agree on that level, but I just had an agent tell me yesterday they haven't been posting about updates on the market because they're seeing it from other agents so much and they don't want to inundate people with that message. But we have to consider that our friendship, like our friends, our followers are mostly agents. So that's what we're going to see. We're realtors, we're in the real estate business, you're a builder, you're going to see other builders' stuff because the algorithm says they think that that's what you want to see. But our followers, that our friends, our clients, they're not friends with as many realtors as we are. So they're not seeing that on the same level that we are. So whatever it is that you want to post, I wouldn't hesitate to do it if you're seeing too much of it, because our viewers, our followers aren't seeing that as much as we are. So like my sister's a photographer. If you were to go on her Facebook, her feed is filled with photography. It's rare that she sees a real estate post. You know what I mean? So like, unless she's seeing mine, like they're not getting as inundated as we are with real estate stuff.
Okay. Yeah. What I was alluding to, and probably not clearly enough, is just posting generic information that just sharing generic information from somebody else.
Yes.
Versus looking at that information and breaking it down. You know, the old saying, break it down for them, brother. Break that information down. Nobody else can do that. If you break that information down the way you understand it, that's adding value. We talk about this all the time. When you go out on a listing appointment or you're working with a buyer, why should they be interacting with you? Personally, my thought is, as I'm looking at this and I'm putting this plan together for myself, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, is this of value to somebody, or am I just parroting what somebody else is saying? I'm not trying to attack at all, but I'm just saying, please put a personality, even if it's a defective personality like mine, put some personality to it, because I believe that's what people will connect to. And if it's genuine, I really do believe that people will connect to that if it's genuine. I truly believe that. And if you think it's great, or, you know, one of my videos, I said, look, if anybody's watching this video and you think I'm just full of fill in the blank, comment, send me a message, let me know, but don't just attack. Let me know why you think what I'm saying doesn't make sense. And interact with this versus, you know, these services are great. Keeping Current Matters has wonderful information. And I never would have been able to do that webinar and those videos without that basic information. But I just think we need to dig a little deeper below the surface, because I think when those things come out on a national level, it's the tip of an iceberg. And the value that we share is knowing what's underneath the surface.
Well, that, and just like you were talking about before, like, especially for our average client, we're going to have to break it down. You know, they don't know our lingo. They don't know what DOM means. Like, we can't just post something. We have to tell them why it matters to them.
Yes.
Yeah, totally agree. So that's really the end of this. It's really more about being relevant and over communicating. Chris had raised his hand here. Let me see. I'm going to stop sharing this. See if I can get it. What suggestions do you have for non-agents on marketing on what to post? Bridget, with you being, we have Samaya Jackson. Any ideas for other businesses on what to post if they are not an agent?
Yeah, I would say, I always look for inspiration from people in our industry. So I'll either, follow, maybe it's realtors or other builders or things like that on Facebook and Instagram. And then something else that's huge is following hashtags. So maybe I'll follow like hashtag on your lot because we build on your lot, or hashtag new construction, or even just hashtag, real estate. And so that is how I get a lot of my ideas, is watching what other people, on the platforms are doing.
Yeah, you have to reverse it. What is your client looking for? What's their issue that you can solve? And dig deep into that. Think like your consumer.
Yeah.
And market to that. Okay, Chris Kugelhana has a question, so I'm gonna, Chris, you're on. Oh, I'm gonna unmute.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I just wanted to thank Bridget for coming on with us. I thought, a lot of her stuff was really good. I also want to thank you, Robin and Jeff, for another jam-packed, value-driven webinar. It was 45 minutes of great content, and it was awesome. Thank you very much. You guys are doing this, and from your homes, you're bringing the value, and you're making all of us proud, and you're also helping so many people by doing this. So keep on doing what you're doing, and once again, really proud of all of you guys, and thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Bridget, I literally called her an hour before the meeting and said, I love what you're doing. Can you be on this with us and share your perspective? And I'm so glad you did. Thank you, Bridget.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, we have this recorded, so we'll share this. But if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. Thank you so much for being on here. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.